Well, if I didn't align myself with both of them, you'd never have a deal. You want me to say really terrible things about Putin and then say, "Hi, Vladimir, how are we doing on the deal?" That doesn't work that way. I'm not aligned with Putin. I'm not aligned with anybody. I'm aligned with the United States of America. And for the good of the world, I'm aligned with the world. And I want to get this thing over with. You see the hatred he's got for Putin. It's very tough for me to make a deal with that kind of hate. He's got tremendous hatred. And I understand that, but I can tell you the other side isn't exactly in love with, him either. So it's not a question of alignment. I'm aligned with the world. I want to get the thing set. I'm aligned with Europe. I want to see if we can get this thing done. You want me to be tough? I could be tougher than any human being you've ever seen. I'd be so tough. But you're never going to get a deal that way. So that's the way it goes. All right, one more question.
Hey, I want to respond to this. So look, for 4 years in the United States of America, we had a president who stood up at press conferences and talked tough about Vladimir Putin, and then Putin invaded Ukraine and destroyed a significant chunk of the country. The path to peace and the path to prosperity is maybe engaging in diplomacy. We tried the pathway of Joe Biden, of thumping our chest.
Good damn afternoon, Americans. Jericho Green here with you once again. Give me a follow on X at @Green_Jericho, a follow on Instagram at JGTalk2. And you can also like and subscribe to this channel right here. So, I know you guys have seen the headlines. Donald Trump, President Donald Trump, Vice President J.D. Vance hosted President of Ukraine, Volodymyr Zelenskyy at the White House today, and shit went sideways real quick. Now, I know you've seen some clips, but I got about 6 of them here because I want you to see the buildup to the heated debate that you've seen in snippets throughout the day. That was the very beginning. That was Trump saying, "Hey, look, I want to get this done." And you can tell already in Trump's voice, he's sick of this shit. He's sick of he's pissed off that hundreds of billions of dollars went over to this bullshit. It should have never happened. And he wants to get it over with. He wants the killing to stop. Is he mad about the money? Yeah. Does he want the mineral deal? Yeah. But he wants the killing to stop, number one. And needless to say, they didn't quite get a mineral deal signed today. It was a little heated. And as you can see in this clip and the ones coming after it, shit got sideways real fast.
Pretending that the President of the United States' words mattered more than the President of the United States' actions. What makes America a good country is America engaging in diplomacy. That's what President Trump is doing.
Can I ask you?
Sure.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. So he occupied our parts, big parts of Ukraine, part of East and Crimea. So he occupied it on 2014. So during a lot of years, so I'm not speaking about just Biden, but those time was Obama, then President Obama, then President Trump, then President Biden, now President Trump, and God bless, now President Trump will stop him. But during 2014, nobody stopped him. He just occupied and took. He killed people. You know what the contact
2015.
2014 and
2014.
Yeah. So
I was not here.
Yeah, but
that's exactly right.
Yes, but during 2014 till 2022, the situation the same. The people have been dying on the contact line. Nobody stopped him. You know that we had conversations with him, a lot of conversation, my bilateral conversation, and we signed with him, me, like a new president.
So. First of all, have you ever seen a vice president so engaged and involved as a J.D. Vance? Maybe I haven't been paying attention close enough for long enough, but certainly the last time around, we didn't have a vice president that could have even stayed in the same room with these kinds of discussions. Before that, I don't think Pence was that involved, and certainly not Sloppy Joe. So it's good to see this. Putin is saying at this point, hey, he said, okay, now let me ask you something. In 2014, Putin invaded, and all these presidents have been in office and nobody stopped him. Now, what I don't like about that is why are you waiting for the rest of the world to handle your business? Now, people might say, well, Russia is much bigger. They got a bigger military. They got more weapons. They got nukes and all this crazy stuff. But from what we saw in the beginning, Putin was running out of gas. He was having problems getting weapons and shit like that. But something else could have been done to stop Putin way back when. And as you're going to see, Trump and Pence are going to say, look, man, I wasn't here. I can't talk about the presidents before me or the ones after me. And you'll hear Trump tell him, look, man, I gave you javelins. Obama gave you sheets. He gave you nothing. I gave you weapons. What are you talking about, man? You better put some respect in that tone.
In 2019, I signed with him the deal. I signed with him, Macron and Merkel. We signed ceasefire. Ceasefire. All of them told me that he will never go. We signed with him with gas contract. Gas contract. Yes, but after that, he broken this ceasefire. He killed our people and he didn't exchange prisoners. We signed the exchange of prisoners, but he didn't do it. What kind of diplomacy, JD, you are speaking about? What do you mean?
I'm talking about the kind of diplomacy that's going to end the destruction of your country.
Yes, but if you
Mr. President, with respect, I think it's disrespectful for you to come into the Oval Office and try to litigate this in front of the American media. Right now, you guys are going around and forcing conscripts to the front lines because you have manpower problems. You should be thanking the president for trying to bring an end to this conflict.
Have you ever been to Ukraine that you say what problems we have?
I have been to.
Come once.
I've actually watched and seen the stories, and I know what happens is you bring them on a propaganda tour, Mr. President. Do you disagree that you've had problems bringing people into your military? And do you think that it's respectful to come to the Oval Office of the United States of America and attack the administration that is trying to prevent the destruction of your country?
Ooh, it's heating up. It's heating up, people. Trump hasn't even got on him yet. The nerve of Zelenskyy to show up to the White House and start talking shit. And you'll hear them tell him, look, you need to be a little more thankful. We're trying to help you, man. We're trying to end the bloodshed. We're trying to stop Ukrainians from being killed. Don't you care about that? Shouldn't that be your number one priority, is to stop the death of your people? We're trying to help you out, man. And you'll hear Trump tell him, look, man, you don't have any cards. You have nothing without us. Without us, you have no weapons. Without us, you have no infrastructure. Your society's not going to run, and Putin will roll all over you and lay you down, put his foot on the back of your neck, and stick a Russian flag in your ass. And there's nothing you would do about it. You'd probably giggle and say, is that all? So you need to be more thankful to this administration that is trying to bring peace to your people. He's trying harder than you. How is Trump and how is the Trump administration fighting harder for peace in your country than you? And speaking of his country, we're going to find out what they think of his little performance here, or some might call it a tantrum in the White House. Let's move on.
Let's start from the beginning.
Sure.
First of all, during the war, everybody has problems. Even you, but you have nice ocean and don't feel now, but you will feel it in the future. God bless.
You don't know that.
God bless. God bless. You will not have a war.
Don't tell us what we're going to feel. We're trying to solve a problem. Don't tell us what we're going to feel.
I'm not telling you.
Because you're in no position to dictate that.
That's exactly what you're doing.
You're in no position to dictate what we're going to feel. We're going to feel very good.
You will feel influence.
We're going to feel very good and very strong.
You will feel influence.
You're right now not in a very good position. You've allowed yourself to be in a very bad position, and he happens to be right about it.
From the very beginning of the war.
You're not in a good position. You don't have the cards right now. With us, you start having cards. Right now, you don't. You're playing cards. You're playing cards. You're gambling with the lives of millions of people. You're gambling with World War III. You're gambling with World War III. And what you're doing is very disrespectful to the country, this country, that's back to you, far more than a lot of people said they should have.
Have you said thank you once? This entire meeting? No, in this entire meeting, have you said thank you?
Today.
You went to Pennsylvania and campaigned for the opposition in October. Offer some words of appreciation for the United States of America and the president who's trying to save your country.
Oh, so you went to Pennsylvania and campaigned for Biden? How is that even possible? How are you even allowed to do that? How are you even allowed to speak those words that you support any political party in America? This isn't your country, you little cokehead. But you can see how disrespectful he was being while Trump was talking. He said, what are you talking about? I thank you. I do. I thank American people. And then he sends out a tweet later today saying, oh, thank you to the American people at POTUS, blah, blah, blah. That's too little too late, you little chump. We are paying for every facet of this war on your behalf, and we are paying for every facet of your society to run, including your salary. So all you need to do is show up and say thank you. That's it. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. That's all. Thank you, American people. Thank you, President Trump. Thank you, JD Vance. Thank you, American taxpayer. That's all you should say. Because again, we are paying for everything. We're making all of this possible. You're contributing nothing. And you saw how pissed Trump got. Said, wait, don't tell me what we're going to feel. Don't tell me what's going to happen to us. There ain't shit going to happen to us. Nothing's going to happen to us. What are you talking about? You don't tell us what's going to happen to us. We tell you what's going to happen to you because we are Mr. Moneybags.
Country.
Please, you think that if you will speak very loudly about the war, you
He's
can...
not speaking loudly. He's not speaking loudly. Your country's in big trouble.
Can I answer?
Wait a minute. No,
Can
you've
I
done a lot
answer?
of talking. Your country is in big trouble.
I know.
You're not winning.
I know.
You're not winning this. You have a damn good chance of
we are
coming out
staying,
okay because of
Mr.
us.
President, we are staying in our country, staying strong from the very beginning of the war. We've been alone, and we are thankful. I said thanks
You haven't
in
been
this
alone.
cabinet,
You
and
haven't
not
been
only
alone.
in this cabinet.
We gave you, through
I
this
said
stupid
thank
president, $350 billion.
You voted
we gave
for
you
your
military
president.
equipment,
You
and you
voted
men
for
are
your
brave,
president.
but they had to use our military.
What about West?
If you didn't have
You
our
invited
military
me-
equipment,
you invited
if
me
you
to
didn't
speak.
have our military equipment, this war would have been over in 2 weeks.
In 3
okay?
days, I heard it from Putin. In 3 days, this is something
Maybe
new.
less.
In 2 weeks, of course, yes.
It's going to be a very hard thing to do business like this. I
Again,
tell you.
just say thank you.
I said a lot of times
that
American people.
Accept that there are disagreements, and let's go litigate those disagreements rather than trying to fight it out in the American media when you're wrong. We know that you're wrong.
But you see, I think it's good for the American people to see what's going on.
I understand, sir.
I think it's
I
very
understand.
important. That's why I kept this going so long. You have to be thankful.
Got to be thankful. Voldemort? Was it Vladimir? Voldemort? Whatever. You got to be thankful, man. You invite me to speak. I no speak. Mr. Trump, please. Only words that need to come out of that hole under your nose is thank you. And to say that you're alone, yeah, without us, you're alone. Without the number one partner on the planet, you're alone. Don't forget that. We're paying for everything. Here's the last one. Bring it home, fellas.
Your people are dying.
tell you
You're
again,
running
I
low
know.
on soldiers.
Don't-
Listen,
don't please,
you're running
Mr.
low on
President.
soldiers. It would be a damn good thing.
Mr.
And then you tell us, I don't want a ceasefire. I don't want a ceasefire. I want to go, and I wanted this. Look, if you could get a ceasefire right now, I tell you, you take it so the bullets stop flying and your men stop getting killed.
Of course, we want to stop the war.
But you're saying you don't want a ceasefire.
But I said to you,
I want a ceasefire.
with guarantees.
Because you'll get a ceasefire faster than an agreement.
Ask our people about ceasefire, what they think.
That wasn't
doesn't
with
matter
me.
for you what-
That
what
wasn't
is-
with me.
It
That was
wasn't
with
with you.
a guy named Biden who was not a smart person.
This
That
is
was
your,
with,
this
that was
is
with
your
Obama.
president. It was your president.
Excuse me. That was with Obama, who gave you sheets, and I gave you javelins.
Yes.
I gave you the javelins to take out all those tanks. Obama gave you sheets. In fact, the statement is Obama gave sheets and Trump gave javelins. You got to be more thankful, because let me tell you, you don't have the cards. With us, you have the cards. But without us, you don't have any cards.
Damn. And that, kids, is how you stomp a mud hole in somebody's ass. He said, you had that deal with somebody else. You didn't have that deal with me. I'm going to make sure this is what I do. This is what I do, you little coke sniffer. I make deals. I wrote a damn book about it. I make deals. I will make sure we all come out smelling like roses. If Trump could have grabbed him by the lapel of his shirt with his left hand and then slapped him coming and going 20 times, he would have done it. He's all, listen to me, you little bastard. I'm trying to hook you up. Take the ceasefire, then we can work on the deal. Let's start the peace. Let's stop the dying first. Let's stop the bleeding. Always remember, whatever in Sea Cadets, you know, we fire safety and stuff like that, and you learn what each different fire extinguisher is for. And the one that's for electricity, it says on there first, turn off the power. You have to stop the source of the fire, and then you can fight it. You're not going to fight a fire that's continuously being fed. Then you'll never put it out. Cut off the power source, you little turd. Let's get the ceasefire in place. Let's stop the dying, and then we can work out the details of the deal. But hey, what does Trump know about making deals? Well, I don't know if Zelensky will be around long enough, because according to this guy, Oleksandr Dubinsky, Ukrainian MP, calls for Zelensky's impeachment amid his visit to the White House. Ukrainian MP Oleksandr Dubinsky has called for the impeachment of President Volodymyr Zelensky, following a heated exchange between Zelensky, U.S. President Donald Trump, and Vice President J.D. Vance during a meeting at the White House on Friday. In a post on X, Dubinsky sharply criticized Zelensky, labeling his actions a diplomatic failure. The events of the past hours, the public humiliation of Zelensky at the White House, Trump's acknowledgement of Zelensky's diplomatic failure, and Ukraine's loss of unconditional U.S. support have marked the final act of the regime's collapse, he wrote. But Zelensky has not only failed in foreign policy, he has driven the country into a state where anyone who disagrees with his course faces repression. What do you call it? What do you call a leader of a country who squashes resistance and dissent? A dickhead, dickweed, dick cheese, dick something, dick potato, no, dictator. That's what you call him, a dictator. But Putin's a dictator, man. This little bastard is too. So we'll see what happens to Zelensky. This might have been the death knell in his little coke dusted coffin, because he got his ass whooped. Trump got in that ass. Trump and Vance got in that ass like a bike with no seat. So this may have spelled the end for Zelensky, which will mean the end of the war, because they'll probably get somebody else in there. Maybe this Alexander, what is his name? Dubinsky. Maybe he'll get in there and make a deal, because like Trump was trying to tell him, let's stop the bullets first. Let's stop the dying first, you little turd. Then we can work out a deal where you have enough money to continue to put that Bolivian marching powder up your nose. Okay? What do you guys think? Meet me in the comments. Do you think it was too much? Do you think that should have been done behind closed doors? Do you think Trump and Vance were a little too brash? Do you think they should have done more? Do you think they should have cussed his little ass out? Do you feel bad for Zelensky? Do you think he had a point? Which team are you on? That's why I'm going to meet you in the comments. Talk to me, goose. But you know how we end these videos. Good gun. So I highlight a story where an American citizen flexes that Second Amendment muscle and gives the bad guys what they need most. But you know how it goes. I try to be done with the left, but they just won't let me. I'm out.
Residents here on Shirley Pond Road say they've always considered this a safe and quiet neighborhood. That was until Sunday night, when one suspect died after the sheriff's office says the homeowner shot and killed him. The homeowner also tells me this wasn't the first time they got into the house.
Our community's pretty nice, and like we have each other's back, so if anything's happening, but it's just strange that it happened over here.
Nicole Long says she's lived on Shirley Pond Road for over 15 years, but now she's worried for her neighborhood.
I read the report saying that someone had gotten shot.
The homeowner says this is the second night in a row his home was broken into. This audio from Broadcastify shows how the first call came in.
RP's advising there were 3 intruders, 3 black males with gunshots exchanged, but they hit 2 of the 3. No one in the house currently. One went out the back door.
The sheriff's office later confirmed 2 of the 3 suspects jumped out of a window and are still on the run. The 3rd suspect died from their injuries.